We have already established that you're raising 3 Major League Baseball players. We have Preston, who's 9, Spencer, who's 6, and Elliot, who's 3.
Right.
Preston was born with a serious heart defect. How did that change everything for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was an interesting time. So yeah, my wife Amy and I, had Preston in 2011 and found out at 6 days old that he had congenital heart defect. And so he was life flighted from us at that point to Akron Children's Hospital. And we were told to go grab 2 weeks worth of clothes and to meet there. And so we did. And he's had a total of 3 open heart surgeries since then, and is doing very well. We're so blessed that, we've talked about banking technology, but technology in healthcare and the medical field has been phenomenal. And so his doctors have been great at Akron Children's and Boston Children's Hospital where he goes. But it really changes the way you think about a lot of things. I mean, we didn't know some of the things that could happen at childbirth and some of the things that can go wrong. And spending that much time at a children's hospital, not only do you feel for your own child, but you just see the thing, some things that happen, and your heart has to go out to them. But it certainly creates a different level of thinking.
And I know that part of that time spent in Boston, you were actually in the hospital during the marathon bombing.
That's correct. Yeah. So we one of Preston's surgeries was April 9th of 2013, and so the marathon bombing was April 15th. It's Patriots Day in Boston, and it was April 15th. So we were 6 days post-op when that happened, and that was just such a somber time in the city and in the country. We had kids coming from the bombing to the hospital, and it was obviously under heavy guard at the time, and as was the entire city. It was shut down for the better part of a day and a half or 2 days, and so it was difficult for medical staff to come and leave, and so it was quite an experience. And so the city and the country were going through that, and Amy and I were going through our own things, and Preston was going through his own things, and it was interesting. But again, we really we're focused on Preston and placed so much of our trust in God and allowed that to kind of carry us through that time. It was definitely an interesting experience. And so that was in 2013. We had some other family things that happened. I lost my father in early 2013, and then Preston had his surgery, and then when we got back, and it was September that year that I became CEO of Farmers. And so,
did you have any reservations about taking that big position when things were happening at home like that?
I suppose I didn't, and here's why. It's just so much about the team here. We have such a great team of executives, and those were my peers at the time, and so kind of stepping out to lead them. I knew I had their support, and then our board. We have a very stable board, a very strong board who was supportive, and so just knowing that I was insulated with all those great people around me, it certainly made that transition much easier. And Preston was doing really remarkably well and has continued to do well. So we've been, again, so blessed and fortunate to have him be on the track he's on.
When you go through something like that, has it changed your leadership style? Does it make going through this whole COVID-19 time not seem as devastating, I guess, mm-hmm. as it does to others because mm-hmm. of what you've already had to deal with?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we definitely soak in every day, and I think I bring that to work. I mean, I haven't lost my, I guess I'll say, my competitive spirit, so to speak. I mean, it's again, going through something like that, and many people go through really difficult things in life. And so this is, for my wife and I, this is kind of something, Preston, this is kind of something that we've gone through together, and not unlike what a lot of people go through, but my lessons that have come through. It's just, when you're in those moments, being laser focused on the matter at hand and not being afraid to ask for help and collaboration. And I've actually brought a lot of the way the healthcare industry or the medical professionals around us used to do things. I brought some of that back to think about it here. We used a group years ago called Cohen and Brown, and they were developed on a medical philosophy where they rounded on patients. And so seeing that firsthand with my son, he would have a cardiologist and a pulmonologist and various therapists and things like that. They would come every day and round on him, and they would discuss different angles. And so much like that, we've adopted, teams. We have now 9 or 10 teams across our footprint, and we have various specialists that can work on a client. And so it might be an insurance agent, an investment advisor, a trust professional, a lender, a mortgage person, and we can bring all these various angles of the business together to help that customer make sure that they're fulfilled and meet their needs. So it really kind of solidified that concept for me. Watching Preston. We were in Akron for 47 days with him when he was first born, and fortunately, farmers allowed me to be there. We would get up in the morning. We would go 7 o'clock rounds, and I would come to work. I would drive to Canfield, and then by 4 o'clock, I would have to be back for afternoon rounds that were about 4:30. And when we left, they gave me the award. I was the only father that was ever at every round, and my wife. They gave my wife the award that every morning she had makeup on. So because. That's not an easy thing to do for either one of us. It was, because the grind. It was just, what my wife and I were going through was such a difficult thing. But she was a trooper and has been awesome and by our side the whole time.
You're still very involved in the American Heart Association.
Right.
And that's close to your heart, so to speak. Tell me a little bit about how you feel about that and about the cup you have sitting in front of you.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, so obviously, education and understanding, therapies and technology are so important to what we can do for, not only children but adults with cardio related issues. And so I was happy to be the Heart Walk chair. And then Preston was, a couple years later, he was the Heart Ball Child of the Year. So we've been very involved with the American Heart Association for a number of years. And then, the Akron Children's Hospital and Dunkin' Donuts do something every year where they have artwork. And so Preston did, and this is not linked to his medical issues. It was just something my wife saw and thought, hey, this is pretty cool. It's called Miracles for Munchkins. Again, it's a collaboration with Akron Children's and Dunkin'. And so he submitted artwork and ended up winning for his Heart Heroes artwork, which was pretty cool. So he ended up being on all the Dunkin' Cups in Northeast Ohio for, I think it was 6 or 8 weeks in 2018. So I remember we have a video, we took him in and we took him into a Dunkin' Donuts and the cups were all on display with his artwork. And we said, hey, look at that. And he didn't quite understand. He's like, oh yeah, somebody did that. That's pretty cool.
So how many of those do you have left at home?
I don't know. Out of the 60 we bought, we probably have 50 left. So I don't know, but yeah, it was a lot of fun for him. So yeah.
You have a lot of awards behind you. Are you proud of those for your bank? What do they mean to you specifically?
Yeah. Well, the bank's gone through quite a transition, really since 2014, 2015. When at the end of 2013, we had under 200 employees. Our net income was under $8 million, and we were about an $800 million bank. And today, through our growth and our acquisitions, we have almost 500 employees, so we're still a small company, and we're very proud of that. And last year we made over $30 million in net income, and the size of our company is almost, we're almost a $3 billion bank, and then we have a unique $2.5 billion in assets in our wealth management division. So really the pride comes from just watching the team and the board, do such a great job of leading us into future generations and providing opportunities not only for employees, but to help be a partner with small businesses that, we just believe in so much. And so, as a side effect of that, the awards came. And as we think as long as we continue to focus on our why or our mantra here, which is creating win-wins for people around us, we think that those will probably follow, which is great. But again, it's not going to stop us from trying to accomplish our mission and our vision, which again is just create those win-wins. And we view if we create wins for our stakeholders around us, our wins follow, and that's an example of what's happened.
What would be your advice for young people who maybe are looking to get into the banking industry?
when I started out in banking, my first increase, I got promoted to an assistant financial advisor. And when my boss at the time told me that, he said, "You're going to make $1,000 a month." And that was my promotion. So I was promoted to making $12,000 a year, and I was ecstatic. You know, all I heard was $1,000, and at the time, I was a college graduate, and so I was making less than that, obviously, and got promoted to that level. And so I think it's okay to start. It's okay to start wherever you need to start. You know, and sometimes in banking, you know, or any business, a lot of businesses, you know, an entry-level position to come in and earn your stripes. That's one thing. And I think for me, I think patience has paid off. You know, we have a lot of people here that this has been a career for them. You know, they've been at farmers, and I think that's less and less common today. And you know, so I wasn't afraid. I wasn't afraid to be patient, and I wasn't afraid to really ask a lot of questions. I think that's important. You know, I'll say the young people in our workforce today are not afraid to ask questions, and I think that's great. I think they challenge our leadership, and I think those are wonderful traits as well. But those are some of the things. I think being patient, but also not being afraid to ask questions, and you know, you'll be surprised where it can take you.
Built for the 21st century American workforce, Eastern Gateway Community College has 2 campuses and is a national leader in online learning. EGCC.edu is a digital gateway where 30,000 students are quickly transforming their financial futures through degrees, certificates, transferable credits, and higher-paying jobs. And now, residents of the Mahoning Valley can enroll in summer classes for free. It's the EGCC Summer Guarantee. Eastern Gateway. America's new workforce starts here.